Having been at college for 2 years now, it's difficult adjusting to the fact that there are actually people out there with an IQ that goes into double digits. As bittersweet as the memories you might have, I've been spending months hearing people complain about politics when they can't even be bothered to vote, listening to people quote vines as if merely saying the words 21 and watermelon are timeless pieces of comedy genius, or observing that people like to brag about their car because it has a 1.2 litre engine. Yippity fucking yay. A large recent portion of my life has been spent devoted listening to the same 3 Nickelback songs because they all vaguely relate to sex, and when I wasn't enduring Dr. Dre's pills resisting the urge to overdose on my own, I was playing Pokemon because the monotony of grinding members of my party is much more entertaining than hearing my stoner friends boast about how many girls they grinded at a party. But on the plus side, my catering qualification has taught me what a bechamel is. Woo! So after being surrounded by half-wits for a while, I want to balance things out with some level of intelligence and sophistication. So the story starts when the titular Professor Layton receives a letter from an old pupil, a young woman turned famous opera singer called Janice. Wait, a person younger than 40 is sending a letter? I know Professor Layton games are renowned for being weird, but this is a little too ridiculous. Janice is to perform at an opera house to which Layton has some suspicion as to whether the performance is linked to some recent disappearances and other plot threads I read on the back of the box. Actually, while I'm here, since when did IGN give out star ratings? Layton is joined by his assistant Luke. Along with helping the professor, he has the ability to talk to animals. Really? You've intrigued me. How does that work?
Something's wrong. They don't seem to understand me.
Ignoring psychics, Janice writes in a letter that something odd has happened recently. Actually, regarding what I've already talked about, the phrase something odd has happened seems a little redundant. How far are we through the review? Ah shit, I'm gonna have to break out a thesaurus. Anyway, a 7-year-old approaches Janice claiming to be her dead friend Melina. Wait, a famous singer being harassed by weird people? Why doesn't the rest of the film make this much sense? So the girl proves herself to Janice by only knowing the stuff that Melina would know. Is that safe? I don't want to go into specifics, but of what little life has taught me, young women tend to have experimental experiences with their best friends. And this 7-year-old is completely fine with it. Just out of morbid curiosity, what's her family like? Moving on, Janice has given Layton and Luke tickets to watch a performance titled The Eternal Kingdom based on the legend of Ambrosia. Wait, the kingdom's called Ambrosia? Just give me a second. It's custard. Ambrosia is a brand in the UK that makes cream dessert products. Okay, this is something that could easily fly over the heads of Americans or the Japanese who made this picture, but all the characters in this film are British! Professor Layton lives in London, Luke has an accent that makes American voice actors sound subtle, heck, the opera house is on the White Cliffs of Dover! Not one person, one character, one English voice actor thought, hey, for some reason I'm suspiciously hungry. Okay, let's actually look into the legend. There once was a beautiful queen who loved music above all things. One day she fell ill and her subjects tried to revive her by any means, even though we've seen her do absolutely nothing to help her people. I mean, the well-being of others is fine and everything, but she did list music as her #1 love. The Queen of Ambrosia dies just as a remedy is invented, the elixir of eternal life that gives immortality to whoever drinks it. I hate to break it to you, but just making someone immortal isn't the same as a cure. I mean, if I had my head cut off, yes I would still be alive, but the act of walking around without the use of my motor sensory neurons would be a slight inhibitance to the rest of my immortal life. Just because the Queen will keep on living doesn't mean you've got rid of a horrible disease. Heck, what if her illness was insanity-driven suicidal tendencies? If someone tried to kill themselves only to find out they were immortal, that would just make the whole situation worse. So once the opera ends, it's noted that no one is cheering. It's revealed when everyone bought their tickets that one person will be lucky enough to receive the gift of eternal life, which seems to be the only reason anyone actually showed up. Everyone except Professor Layton, that is, that didn't seem to know anything about it. But wasn't Layton investigating this whole scene? You don't say a place is linked to suspicious circumstances without having some knowledge. I mean, the concept of giving someone everlasting life is hardly something to be obscured in the news. Only one person can be given the gift of eternal life, so to narrow down the competition, each participant in the audience has to solve a series of puzzles. How the hell did they be that smart as to incorporate Layton puzzles into a film? Don't you dare think I'm giving out compliments on my show. I would sooner end my video short than attribute something to having quality.